Good evening. Good evening. All right. So my name is Demetria Lynn Strickland, and I'm currently the Interim Executive Director for AJAC. And I would just like to extend a warm welcome to our guests, our distinguished guest, Chandra Brown, U.S. Department of Commerce, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Manufacturing, who has been so gracious to stop by via China on our way back to D.C. to come to be able to speak at our graduation today. Also our board members, AJAC committee members, our guest speakers, our employers, our instructors, our college partners, our other partners from the State Board, community technical colleges, our partners with Department of Labor and Industries, and last but not least, to the apprentices, to your families, and to your friends, I want to extend a very warm welcome. So this graduation is significant in that this is AJAC's, not only our largest apprenticeship program, but this is the first group that has gone through the 4 years with us. So it's pretty significant for us. And we are excited to celebrate these apprentices, their achievements, their future successes. They're ending their journey as apprentices and beginning their next journey as experienced machinists and leaders in the aerospace and advanced manufacturing industry. There are many individuals who have served important and instrumental roles in training, directing, and guiding the graduates. First of all, I'd like to thank our AMJTC board members, consist of Tom Lux, Jesse Cody, Mike Porter, Karen Lee, and Janet Schmidlkoffer. Our AJAC committee members, Janie Vigil, Tim Bacon, Travis Hokema, Tim Robbie, and David Zuber, for their leadership in growing our apprentices from 25 starting in 2009 to we served over 303 apprentices this year. To the AJAC instructors, 98% of our instructors currently work in industry. They've committed to taking on the extra challenge of not just working full-time as do our apprentices, but taking the time to pay forward their knowledge by instructing those wanting to learn the craft. These graduates have attended at least 600 hours of classroom instruction during their 4 years in the training program. So to our instructors, I want to thank you for your time, your commitment, your extraordinary instruction, and mentoring you've provided to these new journey-level machinists. It's your vast knowledge and experience that has helped to shape the continuous improvement of the curriculum, of our program, and of the graduates. So if you are an instructor and you happen to be here today, could you stand up? All right, thank you. Don't be shy, don't be shy. I'd also like to recognize the 10 companies who employ the graduates who are here. They've partnered with AJAC to provide over 8,000 hours of on-the-job supervised training during the course of the 4 years. These companies selected master machinists within their company to assist our graduates. They serve as a bedrock of our program. As a result of their commitment to apprenticeship, these graduates are now multi-skilled machinists with the confidence to work on a variety of equipment across multiple divisions within an organization. So these companies include Acro Machining Incorporated, Advantage Manufacturing Technologies, Damar AeroSystems, Fluke Metal Products Incorporated, AJAC Aerospace, JWD Machine, Markey Machinery, Orion Industries, the Lighthouse for the Blind Incorporated, and Umbra Cuscinetti. Did I say that right? Incorporated. All right, so if you are a part of these employers or if you are the employee that are here, would you please stand up? Don't be shy, don't be shy. Thank you. I'd also like to thank our college partners. So these graduates have attended class at Bates Technical College, South Seattle College, and Everett Community College. So thank the college for providing the facilities for the instructional training and providing the opportunity for the graduates to earn college credits during their apprenticeship program. To this point, most of the apprentices have earned 60 college credits and only need to take your general education requirements to get a degree. You only need to take your general education requirements to get your degree. You only need to take your general education requirements to get your degree. Okay? You've done the work. You've done the work. So this degree will provide a pathway for you to continue your education, and as you continue to refine your skills in becoming masters in your occupation. So we have here representing Bates, Ron Langro, Lin Zhu. From South Seattle, we have Dr. Holly Moore. And unfortunately, you guys don't get off the hook. Go ahead and stand. So unfortunately, Everett has their graduation again tonight, so they couldn't send somebody to the graduation, but they wanted to extend their congratulations to you, apprentices. I also want to express my gratitude to the families for your support, the time these apprentices spent in classroom, going over homework, being preoccupied, and for their time away from home. I very much appreciate the role you've served in assisting and supporting the graduates to become the journey-level machinists they are today. So if you are a friend, a family, a supporter of the apprentices, will you please stand up? Don't be shy, come on. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. So to the graduates, I want to thank you for your hours of commitment and dedication you've devoted to on-the-job and instructional training, to developing and expanding your knowledge, skills, and abilities as machinists. I want to thank you for putting up with our continued harassment, for you turning in your on-the-job hours, for you turning in your RSI, and all the other things that you've endured, for your flexibility in class scheduling and location changes, and for your continued input as to how we can do better. So, graduates, you're in the front row, but you can go ahead and stand. All right. All right. They're like, we're not sitting down anytime soon. Y'all can continue to clap. We're going to stand for a little bit. So, to the AJAC staff, if there's at any time, if we ever lose our focus as to why we do what we do, these individuals in the front row, to include the employers, are why we do what we do, to be able to help people get the training, to be able to help that transfer of knowledge to the next and the new generation of workers, and to be able to help Washington State maintain its, I don't want to sound arrogant, but be the best workforce in the states, okay? So there's such excitement for these graduating apprentices from everyone in the room, from family and friends to employers to staff, and for aerospace and advanced manufacturing in the state of Washington. These graduates represent the continued training of the workforce who will carry on the invaluable knowledge and skills of their mentors, and for those who are planning, wishing, hoping, and praying to retire sometime soon. So as we gather to honor your completion, we hope your service to apprenticeship does not end here today. For apprenticeship is not just about education and training. It represents an ideology, a mindset, a tradition, and a community. Having apprenticed and now an alumni, you carry forward a tradition of service and obligation to prepare the next generation of apprentices as you yourself have been trained. So our organization was founded on the principle that mastery occurs on the job as well as in the classroom. That the best instructors and crafts people are forged through years of experience, and that their knowledge is showcased best through everyday craft. That a journey level card stands for commitment, preparation, integrity, fraternity, and not just a credential. That apprenticeship serves as a foundation for lifelong learning and advancement that will make Washington State's workforce the best in the world. So having said all of that, I will now turn it over to Roger Peters, who is a program developer here at AJAC and will serve as tonight's MC. So thank you.
Good evening. Everybody knows me, knows I can talk for hours, so let's get engaged. No, I don't get that fortunate. But I do want to thank everybody for coming. This is a monumentous occasion for us, and we really appreciate you taking the time out of your days to come and talk to us. The graduates, I cut my teeth at AJAC on you guys, and it's been 4 years, and it's gone by for me like that. And I'm really glad to see you here tonight. I couldn't be more proud to see all you guys make it through the 4 years. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first speaker of the night. She was not able to be here in person, so she did make a great video for us. So without further ado, United States Senator Patty Murray.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting me to speak to you on this exciting day. First, I'd like to congratulate the graduates on your incredible achievement, as well as the friends and families that are there today to celebrate with you. Washington State has a proud history of aerospace manufacturing, and for every large aircraft manufacturer, there are dozens of companies that sell everything from paint to avionics that make these aircraft what they are. In fact, last year in Washington State, Boeing used 2,042 suppliers who employed 86,000 people. These suppliers spent $4.6 billion in the Washington State economy. To all of you there today, I know these are more than just numbers on a page. They represent good-paying jobs that capture the skills and knowledge of the state's experienced aerospace and advanced manufacturing tradespeople, graduates like you. As all of you there know, what works so well about apprenticeships is that workers gain specific skills for the workplace, along with critical academics, all while earning a paycheck. In Washington, apprenticeships demonstrate the highest impact and greatest return on investment of any workforce development program in the state. For example, for each individual who completes an apprenticeship program in Washington State, over their working life, there is a 90-to-1 return on investment. That's pretty amazing. And it's not just workers who benefit. Taxpayers in Washington State receive a lifetime benefit of 23-to-1, or around $80,000 for each person completing an apprenticeship program. That's the kind of return on investment most companies would love to see. And I think it's a pretty good argument for investing in programs like these across the country. Because if we want to be a nation that competes and wins in the 21st century economy, we are going to need to make sure our workforce has the skills and training they need to step up and fill those jobs our businesses are fighting to create. And we need to build on what we know works. You know, as a member of Congress, it's not often I have the opportunity to come home with good news from Washington, D.C., but today is an exception. Because this month I was able to join with a group of my colleagues, Republicans and Democrats, and members of the House and the Senate to announce we had reached a deal across party lines and even across the different sides of the Capitol to support programs just like this one that train and educate American workers for the 21st century. Our bill is called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, and basically it does two things. It doubles down on successful programs like this one that help millions of Americans get back to work, and it updates some of our outdated workforce programs that aren't working well enough. So I'm thrilled. We're building on what works and moving a really good bill through Congress that will better support what you are doing here. As everyone in the room knows, the principles and practices that make apprenticeships so effective provide a path forward. Strong public and private partnerships, integrating academic and work-based learning, and using an earn and learn approach where appropriate. These ideas have worked for the past 75 years, and they're going to be an important part of the workforce system for the next 75. So thank you for inviting me to celebrate with all of you here today. I'm proud to be your partner in the U.S. Senate. Congratulations again, and enjoy the rest of your celebration.
Thank you, Patty Murray. Okay, well, we're here to talk about the apprentices tonight, but like Lynn was saying, we couldn't do it without the employers. So our second guest speaker of the night is from Cadence Aerospace. They have been participating in apprenticeship for years. They definitely see the benefits of it. And so Janie Pierce, Vigil, the Director of Human Resources and committee member of AJAC, is here to speak with you tonight.
I guess I should let Roger off the hook because I just got married 2 months ago and I still introduce myself as J.D. Pierce. Vigil. So graduates, first off, I just want to personally congratulate you for achieving your journey level status. We have a lot of our employees that have gone through the program. A number of them are actually enrolled today. And I know it's hard work. 4 years of dedication, hard work, personal commitment, and certainly you have earned your card. And you'll be proud of that, not only tonight, but for the rest of your life. So I was asked to speak tonight to talk to you about becoming leaders in the aerospace and manufacturing sector. I thought, oh my goodness, they just went through 4 years and now they have to be leaders too. You've already demonstrated that you can be a leader, but when I thought about it, I thought all of us have an idea of what a leader is. So I want everybody to start by closing your eyes. Dad, do not fall asleep. Now I want you to think about your workplace. I want you to look around, look at everybody there. Go in the office, go in the plant, go to the break room, and look around. Study their faces. Now I want you to hone in on a leader. Open your eyes. When you close your eyes, how many of you thought of a leader that was a boss or manager? Okay, a lot of you thought it was a boss or a leader. And I think it's natural for us to associate leadership with somebody in a position of authority or hierarchy in the organization. But you don't have to be the leader. You can be a leader as well. So how many of you thought of somebody who was not the boss or manager? Yeah. So think about your workplace and your coworkers. Who is a leader? Who stands out and why? And what about your friends and your family? Do you have people who stand out that are natural leaders? And what about the graduates? What about your classmates? When you were in class in the apprenticeship program, was there somebody who stood out as a leader? And what was it about that individual? Maybe it was you. So in preparing for tonight, I realized leaders are not always the person in charge. Personal leadership shows up in different sizes, shapes, and forms. And I thought about my parents, and they're here tonight. Can I have you stand? Leonard and Dorothy. This is where I promise not to cry. So, my dad, he is now retired, but he was the leader his entire career. He served 2 terms on the Kent City Council. He was actively involved with the Chamber of Commerce. He led multiple charitable fundraisers and events with the Lions Club, the Elks, and the Kiwanis. Leonard Mac McCon was, and still is, at 88 years old, a household name in Kent. This is where I need the Kleenex. But today, I wanted to focus on my mom. So for years, she was always in the background, always in Leonard's shadow, and often referred to herself as Leonard's wife. She was a bookkeeper most of her career. No fancy titles, no public recognition. Dorothy was a leader, not the leader, but a leader, a silent leader. The type of leader everyone can aspire to be, no matter what you do in life. Anyone who's ever known Dorothy knows one or more of her Dorothyisms. One of her many life sayings, her little ditties that she sings, sayings that you never forget and that you pass on to your children, family, and friends. Advice that helps guide your life and steers you to make good choices, such as, don't make mountains out of molehills. And this day too shall pass. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Our family favorite, and this really works, there's nothing that chapstick and 2 aspirin can't fix. And yes, I put chapstick on and I took aspirin before I got up here. So when I think of leadership, I remember what my mom always told my 3 brothers and I when we were growing up. And it's continued to inspire me to take a leadership role in everything I do. She would say, I don't care what you do in life. I don't care if you're a janitor or the President of the United States. Whatever you do, try your hardest and give it your best. If you're a janitor, be the best janitor you can be. So whether the job is big or small, I have always applied this advice to every task I've ever been assigned. Very early in my career, I was assigned the job of updating the bulletin boards. We had over 20 bulletin boards over 3 facilities, and it really wasn't something I looked forward to. I would have rather filed. But when I thought of what my mom told me, I thought differently. And I challenged myself to make the most effective communication boards I could make them fun, decorate them, post interesting information that I could attract employees to read them, be the best bulletin board manager I could be. And I did. To this day, I have a passion for everything I do, and everything I'm responsible for at work, and approach everything I do with the goal of being the best HR director I can be. My career is one enormous bulletin board. So to the graduates tonight, I present to you the Dorothy Challenge. How can you be the best machinist you can be? I also challenge you to arm wrestle my 5'4", 110-pound soaking wet 84-year-old mother, and I'll place money on it she will win. She used to scoop ice cream at my dad's ice cream store, and I think those muscles just never went away. Now, Dorothy would say she was just the bookkeeper. She would never try to stand out, but she was more than that. Everyone at the roofing company looked up to her as a leader. Her work ethics were solid. She never missed a day of work. She was never late. She was always positive, and she didn't put up with any nonsense from the guys. If they came in her office space, they knew they needed to be on their best behavior, or she would tell them to up their attitude. While Dorothy wasn't the leader, she was a leader, and she set high standards for everyone who worked with her and earned everyone's respect. There is a leader in every natural group or team, not just the leader, but a leader. At Cadence Aerospace, some of our machinists stand out as a leader. Now keep in mind, not all machinists are created equal. Like every group or team, some are better than others. But why? When I stepped back, I started thinking, why do I think of certain machinists that stand out above the rest? And as I thought through it, I thought, wow, there's one common denominator. The machinists that stand above the rest simply care. They care about quality, they care about safety, they care about improving what they do, they care about the health of the business, they care about their coworkers, and above all, they care to be the best machinists that they can be. Dorothy cared. She wasn't just a bookkeeper. She cared about making sure the books were accurate. She cared about all the workers. She cared about improving her skills. She cared about her reputation and her integrity. She cared about the success of the business. But you have to ask yourself, so what? Why is it important to be a leader as a machinist? Not everyone is a leader, so why does it matter? What's in it for me? Of course, there's the typical incentives. There's the rewards, the bonuses, the pay raises, the promotions. Not to say those aren't great things, and if offered, you certainly wouldn't turn them down. But I think the real value is when you go home at the end of the day knowing you were the best machinist you could be. There is a leader in all of us. Graduates, what will your leader look like? What are you passionate about? What will you care about? What legacy do you want to create for future generations of machinists? Most importantly, how will you feel at the end of the workday? Like a leader or a worker? Inspired or tired? I will leave you with the top 10 Dorothyisms and how it translates to being a leader. Dorothyism number 10. Just manage, Mariah, just manage. We never did figure out who Mariah was. Leaders, if you're having a tough day, toughen up and find a way through it. Just manage, Mariah, just manage. Dorothyism number 9. Don't tell me I can't. Leaders, take on challenges and extra assignments. Prove that you have the skills. Don't tell me I can't. Dorothyism number 8. Don't borrow trouble. Leaders, don't fall in the trap of shop gossip. Don't borrow trouble. Dorothyism number 7. She is always singing, anything you can do, I can do better. Leaders strive to be the best, have the highest quality, the highest productivity, the safest, Anything you can do, I can do better. Dorothyism number 6, you can like it, lump it, or go behind the barn and dump it. Leaders, you won't always agree with the decisions that are made at work. Try to understand why the decisions are being made, and then accept it and move on. Like it, lump it, or go behind the barn and dump it. Dorothyism number 5, like the old Brazier ad says, adjust, adjust. Leaders, the world is changing, and you need to keep your skills fresh and adjust to new technologies. Adjust, adjust. Dorothyism number 4, when all else fails, read the directions. This applies to the men as well as the women. Leaders, follow instructions relentlessly. Do not take shortcuts. We had an employee scrap a very large load on a multi-spindle a few weeks ago, and when asked, he said he was on cruise control and he didn't refer to the setup book. When all else fails, read the directions. Dorothyism number 3, make your hands go as fast as your mouth. Roger. Leaders, be productive at all times. Make your hands go as fast as your mouth. Dorothyism number 2, life is a do-it-yourself project. Leaders, no one else is in charge of your success. You need to take charge of your own career. It's a do-it-yourself project. And the number 1 Dorothyism, you're all done but finishing it. Graduates, be the best machinist you can be. Never stop caring. Be a leader. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Janie. You just got to hear from a great leader. All right, now it is my honor. We got an employer to speak, so now we're going to get to have an apprentice speak. This person, I really, really admire her. When I met her 4 years ago, she was working her way through full-time at Orion Industries and putting herself through the 2-year manufacturing program at Green River Technical Colleges. Those that you don't know, those are 40-hour-week programs. So she was going pretty hard at it when I first met her, and she still wanted to do apprenticeship. I said, well, Miley, there's a way, there's a will, we'll find it. About a year later, we got her signed up. We were able to give her credit for previous experience, and then she went through all our machining apprenticeship classes as well while she was working on the job. And here she is for graduation tonight. I'm getting ready to call her up, but not just yet. So we kicked off a new program to meet employer needs last year, our manufacturing precision metal fabrication program. Well, guess who just happened to move to the precision metal fabrication side of the shop at Orion? Miley did. Miley was the first one to stand in line and say, I want to take that program. I'm like, well, we've already taken 2 programs. I want to take another program. You can fit it in your schedule. You don't want to break. Nope, I want to take another program. We got her signed up. On top of that, Miley is an incredible supervisor and member of Team Orion. She's always the first one to email me and say, hey, I have another individual for the program. They're ready to go. Come down and get them signed up. She actually hit me up. I got to meet her next week. I think she has 2 for me next week, and one's going to be a tool and die maker. So without further ado, Miley Johnson Molstad, please come to the stage.
Family here. I would hope that I can teach women that they don't have to sit on the sidelines and do traditional women jobs. There is a place out there for a woman in a traditionally man's world, and that the rewards that they will get are great. My name is Miley Johnson. I am a single mother. I am a mentor. I believe in giving back. I am a machinist. Well, as you know, my name's Miley. I'm an AJAC apprentice and an Orion Industries employee. I am honored to have been asked to speak to you this evening. I decided to become a precision aerospace machinist and metal fabricator because of the Orion training program. That jump-started my career into the manufacturing world. I chose the AJAC apprenticeship because it seemed like the best way to learn and work at the same time. The AJAC program and Orion have helped me become more self-reliant and financially self-sufficient. I was asked to speak about how these classes made me a leader in the aerospace industry. To me, being a leader means having the skills and the confidence to do my job, both as a machinist and a mentor. I'm always trying to get better at what I do. For me, it's about having the determination to succeed and wanting to achieve more in my career. Okay, I got this. Give me a sec. Okay, speaking of leaders, I think it's great that the instructors take time out of their own lives and come in to teach us. It takes a lot of dedication. All three of the instructors I've had in the program are knowledgeable about the manufacturing industry. Learning theory also helps with building my leadership skills. One of the many benefits of on-the-job training is that it is easier to learn theory when applying it to on the job. The classes at AJAC have given me the theory behind what I do. The benefits of taking the apprenticeship classes are that it allows for essential hands-on experience, and it makes it easier to communicate to those I work with and mentor. Now I can teach the people that I train the whys and hows of what we're doing on any given project. I didn't know anything about manufacturing before I came to Orion, but now I understand it more because of the AJAC program. I've made leaps and bounds from where I was when I first started in terms of my confidence and skill level. I found that my work at Orion lent itself to helping others in the AJAC classes. The truth of the matter is that we all of us in the apprenticeship classes help each other. Each and every one of us has a different skill set that we can share with each other. With that being said, I'm proud of being the only female machinist in a shop full of male machinists. As a woman, it is satisfying to be successful in a historically male-dominated position. Thank you. For me, this isn't just a job. I take pride in what I do because of where I came from. I was unemployable. I didn't have any thoughts of responsibility or direction towards a career. I made a lot of bad decisions, and I didn't apply myself to employment or life, to be honest. But that has all changed now, and I'm a proud, successful member of the Orion team. A lot of my success grew out of common sense approaches to life situations. I applied myself and worked hard. When I got hired on as staff at Orion, I was working night shift on the shear. As time went on, I had the opportunity to work in several different areas, so I spent time in plant block assembly, the blanking press area, and mechanical assembly. I noticed there wasn't anyone working in the router on night shift, so I volunteered to learn it. As time progressed, they asked me if I wanted to work in the routers on day shift. That's when I started working with program participants and being able to help them on their journey to getting gainful, full-time employment, which I am passionate about because, as I've said, that's how I started. I've been working in the router area about 6 years now, and anytime I mention working in another area, it seems like I just get a new machine. Therefore, I never get bored. I feel I grew up running the router, so it makes sense to me. Now, with a total of 8 years at Orion as staff, I have 2 mills and 2 routers that I'm responsible for, along with 1 apprentice and 2 program participants. I've had a lot of support along the way. My parents were ecstatic when I went back to school. I was finally doing what they knew I could do all along, what I should have been doing in my 20s. We went from them not wanting me around to them being very proud of me. My son and my husband both have encouraged me to achieve my goals, not to mention all the folks at Orion who have walked with me on this journey. I'm grateful Orion was willing to give me a chance. I like working with the program participants because it is my way of giving back what was freely given to me. It is very fulfilling when someone comes up to me with excitement in their eyes and says, "I got a great job." You're taking people with barriers to employment, like in my case, I had addiction problems, and you're helping them become successful, productive members of the community. Orion is a great place to work for. As you already know, I completed AJAC's 4-year machining program to get my Journeyman's Machinist card. In those 4 years, I also graduated with honors from Green River Community College and received my Associates of Applied Science degree in Manufacturing Technology. Now AJAC has started a new precision metal fabrication program, which I didn't know Roger was going to say all this already, so bear with me. In the precision metal fabrication program, it's a 2-year program, and I'm in my 3rd quarter. I would like to continue my education to get my bachelor's degree. I feel like I put a lot of effort, time, and energy into learning so I can be a better employee. I can honestly say I'm proud of the woman I am today. The AJAC program and Orion has made me a better person. Thank you.
Thank you, Miley. I didn't mean to ruin your speech. So from one great social enterprise, Orion Industries, to another, the Seattle Lighthouse for the Blind. We started working with them, well, I currently started working with them like 4 years ago when I first came on, signed up 3 apprentices who were really eager to go, Nathan, Dan, and Mike, I see you out there. But the Lighthouse was one of our first training agents. When AJAC was very first stood up, almost 6 years ago, they were one of the first ones on board. They saw the needs, and they jumped on it right away. They had to wait for us to catch up with them. So we were able to do that eventually and got them signed up. And so I would like to welcome Kirk Adams, the president and CEO of the Lighthouse of the Blind.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you. So it's really, truly an honor to speak to you tonight. Again, my name is Kirk Adams. I am CEO of the Lighthouse for the Blind. Want to just talk to you a very little bit about myself and talk to you a little bit about our organization, and then give you a few thoughts on leadership as well. So about me, as I walked up here with a white cane and I'm reading my notes in Braille, you may have guessed that I am a blind person myself. And I lost my vision when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, when my retinas both detached. I attended a school for blind children, first, second, and third grade. I learned how to read Braille. I learned how to travel with my white cane. I learned how to type on a typewriter. I learned how to do math on an abacus, which I still have. Starting in 4th grade, I went to public school with all sighted kids. I was always the only blind student in all of my classes after I left the school for the blind after 3rd grade. Graduated from Snohomish High School, went to Whitman College in Walla Walla. First job I got out of college was very difficult to obtain as a blind person. My sighted classmates were landing jobs. I was sending out lots and lots of resumes, getting very few interviews, getting those very few interviews and getting no job offers. I finally took a job in an industry that I wasn't particularly interested in. I sold tax-free municipal bonds on straight commission, 50 cold calls a day for 10 years. And I decided when I was about 30, I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life, and I did some soul searching, entered the nonprofit sector, went back to school, got a master's degree in not-for-profit leadership from Seattle University, which through some twists and turns led me to the Lighthouse, which is a nonprofit social enterprise. We have about 400 employees, 240 of whom are blind or deafblind, and we run a variety of businesses employing people who are blind that serve some of the world's most important customers. So blind people at the Lighthouse provide the United States Army with all the 1- and 2-quart canteens that soldiers use for water. We provide them with their on-the-move hydration system. We provide them with the entrenching tool. So blind people at the Lighthouse are supporting the warfighter. Blind people at the Lighthouse are also involved in the aerospace industry, one of the greatest industries in the world, and take a lot of pride in our role in helping move people and goods around the world. Some thoughts on leadership. My favorite definition of a leader is anyone who is willing to help right now. And the problem the Lighthouse is helping to solve is the 7 out of 10 blind working age adults are not working. 7 out of 10 working age blind adults are sitting idle and wanting to work. There's a couple reasons for that. There is a supply side. The main problem with a blind person getting a job is lack of work experience and getting that first job. And you know what happens when kids turn 16, sighted kids turn 16, they get a driver's license and they get a their first crappy job. And, you know, blind kids just don't get that first work experience, don't get that foot on the career ladder. And on the demand side, there's just a real lack of awareness on the part of employers, through no fault of their own, of what blind people are capable of doing. So we address both the supply side and the demand side. We hire blind people, many of whom have very little or no work experience. And on the demand side, we know what great employees blind people can be. So a little pro tip: when you apply for a job at the Lighthouse, put down on the resume that you're blind, and you'll get an interview for sure. So, you know, ultimately leadership is about helping, which means helping to solve problems. Leadership is about bringing solutions. So if a leader is anyone who's willing to help right now, how do we help? And from my somewhat unique perspective as a blind person and the CEO of a blindness agency, I've identified 4 main ways to help that I wanted to share. First is by being creative. Blind people have to be creative in order to live successfully and work successfully, and that means using the tools that are at hand in new ways. So if you come to our shop, you're going to see the same parts being made that you'll see at other manufacturers, but you're going to see some things done in some different creative ways. Just some simple things. We put a tactile strip down on the floor to outline the aisles so that employees can trail those lines with their cane and navigate the shop. You'll see work orders in Braille. You'll hear people doing first part checks with calipers that talk. You'll see CNC machines with the information being voiced through a speech synthesizer, so the blind machinist can get the same information a sighted machinist would. So, you know, being creative requires a lot of understanding and knowledge, and that understanding and knowledge comes through learning. So learning leads to understanding how to do things in new creative ways. The second way to help is by being collaborative. And we have a little bit of a paradox. Our mission is to help blind people and deafblind people live independently and self-sufficiently. And in order to be independent and self-sufficient, you need to rely on other people. A great example in our building is sign language interpreters. We have 40 deafblind employees, so we rely on these members of our team to get our work done. A quote I like, African proverb: if you want to travel fast, go alone. If you want to travel far, go with a group. And working with others in teams is really the best way to solve problems and to help other people. The third way to be a leader is by communicating, by offering to help, by asking for help when you need it, by asking a question when you don't know, by giving answers to those who need them. And a really powerful example of communication that you'll see in our building is between blind people who use guide dogs for independent travel. So the communication between the guide dog and the owner, there's just a constant flow of communication back and forth. And in this case, you know, communicating effectively really is a matter of life and death. The final way I wanted to mention to lead is really just by being courageous. And a favorite quote of mine from the Tao says, "Because of deep love, we are courageous." And sometimes it takes courage to help, to lead. We have 240 blind people who travel to work at the Lighthouse every day so they can support our troops and deliver quality aircraft parts. And for a blind person, sometimes traveling across town to work and back can require more than a little bit of courage. And to admit that you don't know something, to learn a new skill, to reach out a hand to someone who needs your help, I'll take courage. And with that, I just want to congratulate each and every graduate tonight for using your creativity, for being great team players and collaborators, for practicing the difficult art of communication, and for your courage in embarking on this journey 4 years ago. Congratulations to everybody, and thank you.
Kirk, thank you very much. For our next speaker, we would not be here without them. They got the communication started and they generated the funding. I would like to welcome to the stage from the International Association of Machinists, District Lodge 751, newly elected president and director of business representatives, John Holden.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. It is a privilege to be here on behalf of the 32,000 District 751 Machinists union members in Washington State. I am proud to be here to honor the graduates tonight. District 751 is particularly proud of you all for taking the opportunity placed in front of you to secure your future in the aerospace industry, especially since 751 did play an integral role in acquiring the funding for this project. And what we saw at the time was employers needed skilled workers. And we know, because we're familiar with aerospace apprenticeships, that those apprenticeship programs are what will deliver those skilled workers. And for the workers in the community, it'll give them those higher skills, the confidence, the empowerment, and it will allow them to innovate for those employers that they're going to work for. So the IAM, of course, we are proud of what we've done, but none of that work would have bared fruit without you all taking on the apprenticeship before you. And so congratulations to you all tonight. While you rightfully celebrate your accomplishment of graduating this apprenticeship, keep in mind that you are entering a dynamic industry that continues to change. I'm grateful that you had the opportunities that many workers didn't have. And I'm proud that you saw the chance to set your sights on your goals and worked hard to make it a reality. You took advantage of the opportunity for additional education and became a master in your trade. Because of your hard work, you control your destiny, and truly the sky is the limit for you. The skills you learned in this program are valued throughout the aerospace industry and make you one of tomorrow's leaders. Whether you like it or not, you are one of tomorrow's leaders. So remember, you did not do this alone. Graduates, take a moment, turn to your family if you're near them, your friends, your loved ones, and thank them for their tireless support in your efforts. And please, let's give the families a round of applause as well. And again, I want to congratulate each of you and encourage you to keep learning new skills in the future. That's what it's going to take. You also have a responsibility to share what you've learned and support these same programs for others that deserve the same opportunities. What makes apprenticeships unique is the tribal knowledge passed from a journeyman to an apprentice, so share that knowledge. Never forget, somebody provided this opportunity and this hand up for you. When you have a chance to help someone else, don't miss out on that opportunity either. Keep the apprenticeship legacy alive and continue the tradition. The sense of accomplishment you feel tonight will last a lifetime. We are just thankful to be a part of it with you and proud of you. So again, thank you very much and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, John. This next speaker comes to us all the way from China. We are honored to have her here with us. The Deputy Assistant Secretary for Manufacturing, U.S. Department of Commerce, Chandra Brown.
Good evening, everyone. I am awake, which is very good because it is in the morning in China. And no, I'm not actually from China, although I did just get off a plane from being in China to come here to Seattle. And I can't tell you how great it is to be back in the United States and back breathing the beautiful, clean air of the Northwest. I actually was originally born in Chicago, Illinois, but as many of you may or may not know, I spent 20 years about as a manufacturer in the Northwest. I used to have a company called Oregon Iron Works and United Streetcar, so it's kind of fun to be back in the home territory, if you will, and also great to be here representing the United States government. So I kind of have a dual role. And it's funny because once you're a manufacturer for 20 years, you feel the passion of what you want to do and how you want to be it. And I can tell you one of my favorite things that I have in my office in Washington, D.C., which reminds me of the other Washington and Oregon here where I used to have factories, is a hard hat. It's this great made in USA hard hat with the flag. And one of the things I'm most proud of is the guys and gals in our shop. We had almost 400 workers who signed it when I left, because that truly is. I know the passion. I know what it comes from being on the shop floor and working with these men and women. So it's just so great to be here. I get to travel the world. I have a great job as the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Manufacturing. Also a career Miley that not often you see women in, or women owning manufacturing companies. So it was a great joy to get this appointment from the president, and that's because I get to, one, travel the world saying how U.S. manufactured products are #1 in the world. Got it. And that's what I was doing in China, as well as knocking down trade barriers, because you know that we have the most productive, best workforce in the world. And I know some of the graduates are here today. And what I'm going to talk a little bit about is some of the things that we are doing, because instead of you having to go to DC, I'm here to bring DC to you. And I think there's some really cool stuff that's happening right now that pertains to everybody here. We are working a lot to help develop and grow the middle class. I think we all know that, and you know that apprenticeships are critical to that. Our entire manufacturing sector basically accounts for 12% of American output, nearly 2/3 of American exports, and we know that manufacturing is the lifeline of this economy. And as you may also know, the aerospace industry is one of the most important segments of the overall manufacturing economy. In 2012, aerospace industry, $120 billion in exports alone. So guess what? We have 60% market share in the world aerospace industry. So everyone here today is already joining a great American success story. And we know that skilled workers equal more productive businesses. We know that expanded training translates into more money in the pockets of working families. In fact, this is a statistic I really like, 87%, so almost 90% of US workers who complete apprenticeships get excellent jobs and make $300,000 more than their peers over their lifetime. So, yeah, hey. I hope that is true for everyone here, and I'm sure the graduates do too. And so, on the United States perspective, we, for the first time ever, at the United States Department of Commerce, where I work, I was appointed by the president and have this wonderful job. Under Secretary Penny Pritzker's leadership, we have made skills and investment a top priority, which is why I get to come do things like this. And this administration is investing $100 million an upcoming apprenticeship grants competition, which is targeted at providing support for apprenticeships just like AJAC, and also besides advanced manufacturing in IT and healthcare. That's why President Obama's FY15 budget calls for a $2 billion investment in apprenticeship over 5 years, and why the President's Opportunity for All agenda includes efforts to train Americans in fields such as aerospace and advanced manufacturing, where there's high demand and high growth potential for the United States. We also, and everyone here in this room and this region, should be very proud. You guys are leading the way in the United States. I'm pleased to say that the Washington-Puget Sound region recently won a very important award. You are one of the first manufacturing communities in the United States through the Investing in Manufacturing Communities Partnership Program. And that is a testimony to AJACs and other programs like that, and the importance of aerospace and manufacturing to this region. It's a great partnership, and everyone here should be very, very proud. Now, to talk a little bit about the importance of the aerospace industry in particular to American manufacturing and American competitiveness. As the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Manufacturing, I cover all manufacturing for the U.S. So that's everything from medical devices to autos to renewable energy to oil and gas. But aerospace is probably our biggest, best, and one of the brightest industries that we have. We know from history how important aerospace is. Aerospace manufacturing during World War II not only won the war for the United States and the Allies, it created a wartime and post-war economic boom that brought with it the baby boomers. I personally love, and I have a mug, the image of Rosie the Riveter inserting rivets into bomber planes, which brought really manufacturing and aerospace into the forefront of the American dream. And so it's very appropriate we are here today at the Museum of Flight, surrounded by many of these historic planes. Now, my job has shown me that this dream, which is about manufacturing in the United States, is still alive, it's relevant, particularly from the aerospace industry. And as you know, one of the recent changes that's happened over the past few years is reshoring and bringing U.S. manufacturing from overseas back to the United States. Another thing we're very, very proud of. Year after year, U.S. aerospace manufacturers account for the highest trade surplus of all manufacturing industries. When we talk about this trade balance, you are the positive side of that. You are the ones that are creating the jobs and making the products to help our trade deficit. Aerospace companies support more U.S. jobs through exporting than any other manufacturing or service sector. And that is why, as many of you hopefully already know, aerospace workers earn 47, almost 50%, more even than other manufacturing workers. Nowhere is that really more clear than here in Washington. This state transportation equipment is by far the biggest export, and I hope everyone here earns at least 47% more than the average manufacturing worker. But because this U.S. aerospace industry is so competitive internationally, and because it supports high-wage, high-tech jobs that we all know we need and want to keep our middle class moving, we have worked with special intent to increase exports of U.S. aircraft parts, all the supporting equipment, other aerospace products such as satellites, and they're all part of the National Export Initiative, or NEI. And so President Obama, he launched NEI in 2010, and the goal is to expand U.S. exports and support over 2 million additional jobs by the end of 2014. I'm proud to say we are well on our way. Aerospace, again, most important, our trade surplus was just over $76 billion, thanks to aerospace. So we are exporting much more than we are importing in this section. And we know that America is open for business, and we hope to attract even more aerospace companies, the supply chains, back to the United States, creating jobs and needing more trained and skilled workers, which is why we love apprenticeship programs. So I know these are a lot of facts and statistics, and I know that we all know that 21st century manufacturing, it's different, you know, from 5 years ago, from 10 years ago, from 20 years ago. We know, and we're so proud to say that I think even the perception of manufacturing is changing, that it's noble to work with your hands, that it's a great career, again, with higher wages, better jobs, and really you can support a family, preferably and usually without the same amount of debt that you sometimes see on college side. So I get to travel the United States, and I get to talk about how great manufacturing jobs are. I get to hopefully change the perception person by person, guidance counselor by guidance counselor, teacher by teacher. But I know in this room, I don't have to do that, because you all know how critical this is. If we do not have a skilled workforce and have that pipeline of the future generation of workers, we will not continue to be the world's greatest nation. So I want to thank Washington State for the initiative to create and grow AJAC. I want to thank, as everyone else has, the companies, the employers here. May you create many more jobs that need many more apprenticeships. I'd also like to thank the family and the friends. I really do believe it takes a village to raise and move anyone. And finally, I'd like to thank the graduates who've been really invested years of time and energy to be here today. So as we move forward, I know you see the benefits. I hope you continue to remain engaged. I hope you continue to help AJAC and this Puget Sound, and in fact, all of the United States by your efforts here. And I want to say, you know, you're the future. Go out there, advance the cause of U.S. manufacturing. I like to end with a quote from Abraham Lincoln, who I just admire so much. And he says, always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. It is you, each one of you. And I have no doubt now that you have the tools, the skills, the support network that you need to succeed. And so instead of saying go forth and conquer, I like to say go forth and build. Build the next generation of products, make the United States the best country it can be, and thank you. You should be very proud of yourselves.
Thank you, Chandra, for your insight, your passion, and the advancement of manufacturing. Okay, apprentices, it's about that time. I need to welcome to the stage Dean of Instruction, Bates Technical College, Lynn Zhu, Executive Dean, South Seattle College, Georgetown Campus, Holly Moore, former Apprenticeship Program Manager and current Assistant Director for Fraud Prevention and Labor Standards at the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries, Elizabeth Smith, AJAC Committee Member, Janie Vigil, and AJAC Interim Executive Director, Lynn Strickland. Okay, and now to the stage, Andrea Anderson, Director of Apprenticeship, to talk a little bit about the apprentices.
Hi, welcome. So, apprentices, let me just tell you how we're going to proceed. Are you guys about ready? Okay, great. So, when I call your name, apprentices, so Lisa Van Dyke, our great communications person here at AJAC, told me that your pictures are going to come up on the screen. So, I'm going to call you up one at a time, and I'd like you to enter on this side, move across the stage, shaking hands with our fantastic guests. You'll receive your certificates on the other side, and then there'll be a group photo, and then you can proceed back to your seats. Everybody clear? Great. Okay. I'm going to call the groups based on what college you went to. So our first group of apprentices attended Bates Technical College, And first off is Justin Hill. Come on up, Justin. Justin is from JWD Machine, and he's been employed by JWD Machine for over 6 years. His professional accomplishments can be directly attributed to his diverse skill set on the shop floor. Justin has a comprehensive knowledge of multi-axis mills and lathes as well. The core fundamentals taught in the AJAC program have been a great contributing factor in Justin's ability to develop a wide array of skills. Personally, Justin has grown to take on more responsibility as an employee and a student. Through his training in the AJAC program, JWD Machine has designated Justin to run one of their high-speed, flexible manufacturing systems. In the classroom, Justin was always willing to help other students and transfer his knowledge of manufacturing. Congratulations. Kyle Kursup. Kyle has been employed at JWD Machine for over 5 years. His enrollment into the AJAC program helped him achieve many goals, both personally and professionally, including his in-depth knowledge of cellular manufacturing and the FMS system, Flexible Manufacturing Systems. Kyle progressed and moved into JWD's machining program and engineering department, where he continually hones his skills in 5-axis programming and maintains the department's schedule. Personally, Kyle attributes his growth and confidence to many of the skills learned as an apprentice in the AJAC program. Kyle has exceeded expectations at JWD Machine thus far. Congratulations. Next, from Orion Industries, is Miley Johnson-Molstead. When Miley joined the Orion team 7 years ago as an entry-level manufacturing employee, her drive and determination to make something of herself became immediately apparent. Despite starting without any experience, she quickly developed the skills for basic operation of CNC equipment and started taking after-hours training to learn CAM programming. When the AJAC program was first created, Orion offered Miley an apprenticeship opportunity as one of their most promising employees. Miley has turned this opportunity into a life-changing event, and she now runs a production cell of CNC mills and routers, manages a team of CNC operators, trains Orion staff, and mentors new Orion program participants as they learn CNC operation. Our next group of graduates come from Everett Community College. From Acro Machining, Trevor M. Neiman. Oh. Apparently, Trevor is not attending tonight. However, 2 of his instructors in the program said Trevor was a pleasure to have in class, and Trevor was also a quiet leader. Advantage Manufacturing Technologies. First up is John Olson. The apprenticeship has been a great opportunity for John. He's grown monumentally in experience and understanding, both as an individual and as a machinist. He's become a good mentor for AMT's young operators and their existing apprentices as well. John shows growth every day with every new setup and every new part. He's been given some very useful tools that will last him a lifetime. John has a very bright future ahead of him, especially as a cell lead in the shop. He's consistently looking for opportunities to improve both himself and his team. John is safe, patient, and willing to teach the tools he's learned to anyone willing to listen. He's a great person and a valuable asset to Advantage Manufacturing Technologies. In the classroom, John is knowledgeable and willing to share his insight and previous experience with those around him. He's been a favorite amongst instructors who valued his opinion on teaching concepts, but most importantly, doing it in a respectful way. Congratulations, John. From Damar AeroSystems, Ryan Baker. Ryan's skills are very impressive by any standard. Ryan came to Damar with a vast understanding in sheet metal fabrication. he continues his journey by expanding his knowledge into developing a robust set of metalworking skills, including CNC machining. Ryan's willingness to tackle any project, large or small, combined with his metalworking knowledge, has been a true asset for Damar. In the class, Ryan was often the last person to leave and always asked a lot of great questions. Congratulations, Ryan. Steve Funderburk is also not here tonight. He's the next one from Damar. He's considered an outstanding employee at Damar through the loyalty and commitment he demonstrates every day. Steve uses his passion of the trade and machining knowledge to look for ways to improve quality and production. Additionally, Steve maintains a positive attitude in developing more efficient processes. Steve has received recognition from his former instructors who valued his independent thinking and always questioning why, while never taking anything for granted, a mark of a good machinist. Robert Golub is also not attending tonight. However, Robert advanced to supervisor at Damar, sharing his knowledge with fellow apprentices and less experienced employees. Said of Robert, he's smart and a big picture kind of guy. I wish I'd been blessed with a supervisor like Robert at some of the jobs I've had in my career. Robert was outstanding. He would go above and beyond what was needed. He would push us instructors to teach us as much as we know. And again, Kyle C. Matthews, he's not attending tonight either, but I want to share a little bit about him. Through application, devotion, and hard work, Kyle has become an accomplished, knowledgeable machinist, always willing to mentor and support his team. Kyle's understanding has been a true asset to Damar. He provides efficiency savings with setups and runtimes, developing innovative setups and runtime improvements. In the classroom, Kyle asked a lot of questions that made others think, and he was a pleasure to have in class. Jeremy L. Moreland. The apprenticeship has been very beneficial to Jeremy. It has greatly helped him excel in all facets of machining and is now an integral part of Damar's manufacturing process. Jeremy gains more experience and growth every day by being universal with all machine control centers and has a clear understanding of cutter technology. Jeremy's more confident since enrolling in AJAC's machining apprenticeship program. He's gained more experience with training others on the tools he has learned, along with improved setups, and quality in manufacturing, which will greatly benefit Damar's future. Jeremy has a bright future ahead of him thanks to his apprenticeship training. Congratulations. Kenneth Waller from Damar is also not here tonight. Kenny is willing to perform a variety of duties with a vast metalworking knowledge. When faced with a deadline, Kenny's not afraid to step in, help out, and learn new methods. Kenny's flexibility in learning a variety of machining techniques has developed the strong building blocks of a versatile machinist. He also was an excellent student. He did everything he could to understand a concept and was very methodical. Great skills for a machinist to have as well. Last up for Damar is Dylan Walter. Dylan shows a lot of initiative and looks for opportunities to cross-train and learn new things. Damar often relies on Dylan for a variety of tasks. Damar has the utmost confidence that Dylan will complete each task with the highest detail, providing precision results. He was also a pleasure to have in class. Congratulations, Dylan. From Fluke Metal Products, Inc., we've got Brad Dunso. Brad started at Fluke Metal Products, Incorporated, thinking he had an idea of what machining is all about. Brad's supervisors watched him work hard, reflecting on his career, while focusing on the details needed to meet exact specifications for quality and efficiencies. He proved to be a positive, enthusiastic, and effective communicator with Fluke's management, while accepting and learning from a few minor mistakes. Brad's supervisors believe the program pushed him to learn more than just the on-the-job training piece. As a student, he is always helpful and willing to share his knowledge, but if he doesn't know something, he's not so proud that he won't ask. He wanted all the information his instructors could give him, not just what was in the curriculum. He pushed his instructors to teach him more. Now, from Umbra Cuscinetti, Inc., the first person is Chris Enzi. Chris Enzi, also known as Bo on the job, began his career with UCI in March of 2007. He was hired to run one of their vertical mills, which he had previous experience in. Bo showed great potential when UCI started the joint venture with AJAC, and due to his outstanding work ethic and enthusiasm, he was selected to participate in the apprenticeship. Bo excelled not only in this program, but in his job. He was promoted to a lead for third shift. Bo has become versatile in running multiple machines, and UCI is confident he will be a great mentor for future apprentices. One of the AJAC instructors said, "If I had a kid who wanted to learn how to become a machinist and Bo was their instructor, I would be confident that he or she was being trained correctly. I hope Bo will become an AJAC instructor someday." Samforn Mao. Samforn Mao. Samforn Mao started at UCI in June of 2007 and was hired to work in their electromechanical flap area, straightening tubes. He worked in this department for a year and a half. Samforn has always been a hard worker, coupled with a great work ethic. UCI moved him to the CNC mill area, where he continued to excel with speed. Samforn's versatility in running multiple machines made him an easy selection for the apprenticeship program. UCI is confident he will be a great mentor for future apprentices. Both of Samforn's instructors agree he was a fantastic student. He always made an extra effort to make sure he understood the concepts that were being taught. Though he's a very quiet person, he has a bright future in the machinist trade. Travis G. Schmelzer. Travis Schmelzer came to work for UCI in January of 2006 and was hired to work in the lathe department. Travis displayed a great work ethic and was a fast learner. He was an easy selection for nomination in the apprenticeship program due to his passion for his job and his expertise. Travis has become adaptable in running multiple machines, and UCI is confident he will be a great mentor for future apprentices. Travis was not only a pleasure to have in class, but was a great student who got along with everyone. Right. Our apprentices from South Seattle College are next. First up from Exact Aerospace is Anthony Green. Anthony has been able to completely take over Exact Aerospace's programming and mill departments as a result of the AJAC apprenticeship program. As Anthony progressed in the program, you could see the confidence in the way he handled himself. Exact Aerospace is very excited for Anthony's future. He has and will always have a place at Exact Aerospace. Anthony's former instructors added, "In the 4 years I've known Anthony, I've seen him progress from an apprentice who was questioning his abilities to a go-to person at Exact. Anthony has not only excelled at machining, he's taken over Exact's programming department and is steadily working his way into management. Anthony's very smart and very talented. Anthony taught me a few things about Mastercam in my Mastercam class. I have no doubt that Anthony is going to accomplish big things in his career. He already has." From Markey Machinery, Joshua Smith. Joshua has done very well as a machinist at Markey. He's a multi-talented learner who picks things up easily, which can be attributed to his involvement in the apprenticeship program. Joshua is a smart individual and picks things up quickly. Markey's employees enjoy working with him. His instructors added, "Josh coined the phrase, 'CNC is witchcraft.' Despite his initial views on CNC operations and programming, Josh has gone on to be the first machinist at Markey to set up and operate their proto-track CNC mills. Josh was an excellent student. He's very smart, and his instructors say they know he'll do great things in his career. Next are the apprentices from the Lighthouse for the Blind, Inc. Mike Beeksma. Michael E. Beeksma moved from a production lead position to the AJAC apprentice program to add expert technical skills as a machinist to his already extensive array of skills. Always consistent and steady in the Lighthouse for the Blind aerospace production shop, he's now counted on to fill multiple roles in the machine shop. Mike has already been a lead and has mastered multiple machines. He will inspire the next wave of Lighthouse apprentices. Mike is an excellent student and always has a lot of excellent questions. His instructors enjoyed having him in class. Congratulations. Nathan Greenwood. Nathan gained a tremendous amount of knowledge in a short period of time. Overcoming visual impairment with pure determination, he was able to achieve very high scores in all AJAC classes. Nathan is now fully qualified to produce many of the Lighthouse for the Blind critical aerospace part. Nathan has also gained personal confidence and the ability to mentor other employees in the AJAC program. An instructor said of Nathan, he refuses to allow his vision to stand in his way. Ever inquisitive, Nathan tries to absorb everything in his surroundings. His attention to detail will make him a great instructor. Another one of our instructors said, I had the pleasure of having Nathan in 2 of my classes. In the very short time I got to spend with Nathan, he taught me more than I could ever hope to teach him. He is determined, focused, and taught me that there is no such thing as impossible and that any obstacle can be overcome. Congratulations. And last but not least is Daniel Porter. Dan showed exceptional tenacity in overcoming legal blindness to achieve top scores in AJAC technical areas. He used magnification and other audio accessibility devices to handle the course material. Dan is now able to run multiple complex machines at a very high level while nearly eliminating any impact of his visual challenges. Dan is a truly valuable example to other blind employees of the Lighthouse. His desire to be the best has forced the Lighthouse to take notice and continue to feed him new challenges. Dan is currently operating a cell system and on his way to becoming a lead. Dan strives to excel in all areas. When Dan sets his mind to something, he always goes big. Congratulations.
You can come up here if you want.
I think you're good.
You
I was
sure?
supposed to read this last sentence,
You were going to read that last sentence?
but,
What is it?
well, it's usually my way of coming in and messing up your closing words.
Okay, all right.
Doing that all night, but-
All right. Next, we'd like to have the Outstanding Apprentice Award. And if Chandra could come up to the stage to help us to present this award. Graduating apprentices, you are our greatest asset in carrying on the knowledge of our mentors and instructors and in keeping the aerospace and advanced manufacturing industries alive and thriving in Washington State. Whether you serve as a mentor, teacher, advocate, or role model, the power you have to influence the lives of others is immense. These acts will define you as a leader, and your leadership skills will set the standard for all apprentices to come. So with this vision in mind, we'd like to honor one amongst you who has taken this initiative to heart. Not that you all have not. In addition to being an exemplary apprentice, this individual has served as a mentor and will begin teaching for AJAC this fall. This individual will also be the first apprentice to complete AJAC's new associate degree at Bates Technical College, and I really wanted to, is Ron still here? He had to leave? Okay, so tell him that I was saying this about him, okay. Not just giving a shout out because I used to work for Bates for 4.5 years, but we've been working with the colleges to try to articulate the apprenticeship program. And so when apprentices finish, they take their general education, as we mentioned before, and then they can earn their AAS degree. So in working with Bates, a lot of the colleges have multi-occupational trades degrees, which are associate's degrees, but we're trying to get it defined to be able to articulate for the apprentices what they've actually done during their 4 years. So it's a more specific degree that outlines the classes that they have taken. So we've worked with Bates, and Bates helped us through all of our pestering. They were very patient and helped us to be able to get an AAS degree in Aerospace Machinist at Bates Technical College. So you apprentices, again, you guys have done a lot of the work. You guys and ladies have done a lot of the work. Go ahead and continue and get that associate's degree. One of the other things I wanted to also mention, that you guys have finished this program, you have 0 college debt, so just saying. I'm still paying my student loans, so anyway, so we would like to present this year's Outstanding Apprentice Award right after this commercial break, so. Okay, all right. Kyle, James, curse up. Okay, come on over. So we've heard a lot about Kyle, but Kyle has excelled in his ability to program machines in a quick and timely manner. No, stay on up here. No, no, stay here. Stay here. Okay. So many times we're so willing to like talk about the things that we don't do well in our failures and stuff like that, but very rarely do we bask in the success and be able to sit back and be able to puff our chests out and say, yes, we did that. So, and it was funny. I'm totally off script, but but it was funny to be able to see you graduates. You know, you all are sitting there, and then when you call their name, and then you guys are kind of, you know, sit up in your chair. I mean, this is a big deal. This really is a big deal, and be proud. And take a few minutes to tell yourself in the mirror quietly or out loud in the shower, it doesn't matter, that you did do this, and be proud of that, okay? So that's why I'm making you stand up here for a little bit longer, okay. So Kyle has excelled in his ability to program machines in a quick and timely manner. Considering the amount of experience he has under his belt, this is truly a testament to his growth. This, along with his GPA, shows why he is not only outstanding, but has the ability to make a great contribution to the industry. Kyle's vast depth of knowledge in the trades, along with his intuitive problem solving, has developed his acumen for various manufacturing processes. Academically, Kyle is a consistent performer. He shares his understanding of machinists with other students, and we value the example he has set in the classroom and in the shop. So, congratulations, Kyle. Okay, so now realizing that I am the only thing that is standing in between you and the heavy appetizers as opposed to medium or light appetizers, I guess, I don't know. I'm going to make my closing remarks really, really short. So, is Karen Lee and Mike Porter here? Were they able to make it? Okay, they were our board members. But I wanted to thank everyone. I really appreciate the speakers that came out and your words to the apprentices and the graduates. Lisa Van Dyke, I have to do this. Where did she go? Lisa's been working. Along with all of our other staff, Lisa has been working on this graduation for over a year. And all of our staff is going to take her immediately to the bar after this and buy her a drink. No, but I wanted to acknowledge Lisa and Aaron and the rest of the staff for all of the work. I also wanted to thank our sponsors for helping to make this graduation possible: Aerospace Machinist District 751, Cadence Aerospace PMW Operations, AIM Boeing Joint Programs, Orion Industries, Pacific Northwest Aerospace Alliance, Skills Inc., the Lighthouse for the Blind, and Umbra Cuscinetti. So a couple of public service announcements. There is a photo gallery that we have. If you go out of this auditorium around to the left, there will be an opportunity for apprentices to take pictures with their families, with their employers, with their loved ones. Well, we also have a videographer that is located downstairs, and it's always great to get testimonials. We could talk about the program and the success of the program and what it means, but it means a lot coming from individuals that have been through the program. It means a lot coming from employers, so please take advantage of the videographer down on the bottom floor. The museum is open up to you and your family, so please feel free to walk around. And right after this, if we can have all the graduates back on stage to be able to have one big group photo, that will be great. So in that, have I forgotten anything, Elisa? Am I good? Have I forgotten anything, or Roger? All right. We want to thank you all for coming out, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.